everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Now today I will be talking about Jupiter's transit in the sign of Leo. Now Jupiter's cycle is a 12-year cycle, so every 12 years it returns to a sign. So Jupiter was in the sign of Leo 12 years ago, but in 2026 it's back in the sign of Leo. Now the transit begins on 30th of June 2026 all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a 13-month cycle all happening in the fixed fire sign of Leo. Now before I begin my video, I just want to thank everyone for your contribution, your comments, your likes, your subscription and all that. I really appreciate all your contribution and I'm really grateful and enjoy making content for you as well. Now all the new subscribers, welcome to my channel. I hope you all find value in my content. Now let's begin with this transit. It's quite an interesting transit because it really amplifies the fire energy of the sign of Leo. Now Leo is a fixed sign. It's a fire sign. It's a fixed fire sign. Means it's a sustained fire energy. And Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It amplifies wherever it goes, whatever it touches. So whichever sign it touches, whichever house it touches, whichever planet it touches, it amplifies it, it expands it, it exaggerates it. Now, Jupiter in Leo is a spotlight energy cycle. This is going to be a fully alive, very visible, very creative transit. Now, Jupiter represents growth. It represents luck. It represents blessing. It's a benefic energy. And Leo represents our heart center, our desire, our passion, our self-expression, creativity, love, romance, children, personal pride, personal joy, self-expression, confidence, and all that. So together this gives a main character energy. It leads to recognition, visibility, passion, creative breakthroughs, leadership opportunities. All that is definitely in store during this transit. Now, Leo is ruled by the sun. So you can imagine the energy of any placement, and Leo is all about being seen because sun is visible. It's the most visible object in the sky. So Leo brings that energy. So during this transit, it's all about being seen. It's all about being visible. This is not the time to play safe. You must express yourself. You must create something. You must put yourself out there in order to reap the benefit of this transit, because during this transit growth will not come unless you are putting yourself out there, unless you are making yourself more visible, more seen. Now the sign of Leo is also about courage, confidence, authenticity, being true to yourself, being confident within yourself. So all these energies will also be expanded with this transit. Now even though it is Jupiter energy, which is all about luck and blessings, the transit is not just plain dramatic luck. Work needs to be put in because this is a heart center activation cycle. So you need to engage in activities or experiences or relationship or whatever that might be, whichever house the sign of Leo rules that area. You need to engage in that area with authenticity, with passion, with courage, with confidence, with what connects to your true self, your heart center. This can definitely activate your heart chakra. So during this time, what you're asking yourself is, have you been dimming your light? Have you been afraid to express yourself in the true, authentic way? And what can happen when you truly express yourself? During this transit, in order to bring growth and expansion in your life, you must lead from courage, not fear. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow sides. So Jupiter in Leo also comes with that. Now, as I mentioned, Jupiter exaggerates and amplifies whatever it touches. In the sign of Leo, which is all about the ego self, Jupiter can amplify the ego-centeredness as well. This can mean ego inflation, arrogance, overconfidence, overpromising, needing validation all the time, overexposing yourself and all that, or seeking dramatic reactions from others. So during this time, you're aiming to achieve confidence without ego attachments. Now, obviously, the zodiac signs that will most feel this transit are the fire signs, because this is a massive expansion cycle for all the fire signs. And of course, all the Leo placements. If you have Leo rising, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, angles in the sign of Leo, you will definitely experience identity level upgrade. And of course, all the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you will experience some major turning point over the next 13 months. Now, last 1 year, Jupiter was moving through the sign of Cancer. Now it enters Leo, which is very different energy. Cancer is a water sign, Leo is a fire sign. Jupiter in Cancer was all about emotional growth and emotional healing. Jupiter in Leo is all about self-expression, growth through expression, growth through visibility, growth through leadership, courage, and creation. Now, Jupiter is returning in the sign of Leo after 12 years. Last time it was in the sign of Leo was in 2014. So you can go back to that period, 2014 to 2015. What happened in your life during this time? It can give you some sort of clue as to what you can expect during this cycle. Now, obviously, things will not remain the same because there are other planetary energy that is aspecting this transit. Also, we have evolved. We are not the same person what we were 12 years ago. So the experience may be felt differently. But if you go back to that time period, it can give you some sort of clue what you can expect or how it may play out. Now, obviously, I will go through all the 12 zodiac signs and explain how Jupiter in Leo transit will affect all the 12 signs. So it's very important to look at your chart and see if you have any placements in the sign of Leo or any angle in the sign of Leo. Then you will experience this transit more personally and significantly. So overall, Jupiter in Leo transit is a lot about being authentic and leading from your true self rather than from your ego self. So let's begin with all the 12 zodiac signs now. Hello Aries, welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now Aries, Jupiter will be moving in the sign of Leo, which is your 5th house, on 30th of June 2026, all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a little over a year transit. Now, Jupiter has a 12-year cycle, so it returns in a sign every 12 years. So now in mid-2026, Jupiter is entering Leo, which is your 5th house. Now, this is a very fortunate placement, 5th house, because 5th house is naturally ruled by the sun, and obviously it's the Leo sign that occupies your 5th house. So here Jupiter is in the sign of the sun. So this is a very fortunate, very expansive, very growth oriented placement. So for the next 1 year, Jupiter will be amplifying all the 5th house matters. Now, 5th house is the house of creativity. It's the house of romance, pleasure, self-expression, confidence, children, your legacy, and all that. So with Jupiter here, things can really take off for you, Aries. Your confidence can grow, your creativity can grow, your passion will grow, your enthusiasm, your need to express yourself, whether it's in affectionate way or creative way, will definitely be amplified during this 1 year. Now, 5th house is the house of joy, inner joy, personal joy. So here Jupiter will open various doors of opportunity for you to, participate in these energies, whether it's creative, whether it's romance, dating, love, whether it's regarding your children, whether it's just having fun within yourself, engaging in your talents and your skills, your passions, what you desire, what your heart desires, and all that. So Jupiter here definitely focuses on outward growth, outward expression, and all that. Now, Jupiter is a benefic energy. It brings luck, enthusiasm, optimism, growth, and all that wherever it goes. So this 1 year is not going to be too much of a stressful time, unless obviously it's receiving some sort of challenging aspects from other planets. But in general terms, Jupiter here is not going to be draining or stressful here. Here, Jupiter is allowing you to follow what lights up your heart, Aries, and letting that lead your life during this time. So your creative power may awaken during this time. This can mean you're creating content, you're writing, teaching, speaking, building something that is personal to you. Now, Jupiter is also the planet of wisdom, higher consciousness. It's a planet of knowledge and learning and all that. So you could also be exploring your mind. This could be a mental exploration as well. As you create, as your creative power awakens, your knowledge also expands. And that can push you into starting some sort of creative project, passion projects, and all that. Now, what you will notice during this 1 year is that you're coming up with more ideas, you have more confidence to share these creative ideas as well, and you also get positive reception from others during this time as well. So it's important to focus on creating something and don't worry too much about perfectionism. It's important to start something and let it flow, Aries. Now, fifth house is also the house of romance and dating and all that. Now, this is not the house of commitment, long-term commitment, but it is the house of having fun and all that. So during this 1 year, you can expect some sort of new love opportunities or new passionate connections and all that. You may feel more seen and more desired as well during this time. Now, you will also feel more playful because Jupiter definitely amplifies the energy of the house. So this brings out your playful side, but just be mindful of impulsiveness. Now, it is in the sign of Leo. Leo is a bold energy. It is a fire sign. It's a fixed fire sign. So here, your expression, whether it's creative or romantic expression, will be very bold, very expressive, very undeniable. So you are really going out and really expressing, whether it's love or creativity, whatever that is, you're really expressing that out loud. Now, fifth house is also the house of children, fertility, procreation as well. So this can definitely mean literal pregnancy, or it could just mean you are connecting more with your children if you have any. And if you don't have, this can indicate growth in the fifth house matter. So pregnancy, childbirth, and all that are definitely possible as well over the next 1 year, Aries. Now, whatever you start during this time has growth potential, definitely, whether it's children related, creativity related, romance related, all that. It may not be solidified in the 1 year, but it definitely has potential to grow, long term, even after this transit is over. So your confidence level will definitely go up during this time. You trust yourself more during this time, and you care less about judgment as well, because it is a fire sign and Jupiter is this massive planetary energy. So it is all about itself anyways. It does give a boost to the ego as well because it is in the sign of the sun. Leo is about self. It's about the ego self. So here, Jupiter will amplify your ego self as well, and you will care less about other people's opinion, other people's judgment. You will be open to taking up space naturally during this time, and you are definitely embodying yourself fully during this transit as well. So you are shifting from inner healing, which was the fourth house energy over the last 1 year when Jupiter was moving through the sign of Cancer, into the fifth house energy, which is all about outer expression, personal expression, and all that. So you are definitely living out loud during this 1 year. And the more you follow what excites you, Aries, the more life will open up for you. So definitely this is a time to take up these opportunities and really engage in these matters. Now, obviously, everything comes with the shadow side as well. It comes with challenges. Even though it is Jupiter, it also matters how you handle this Jupiterian energy. It does bring luck, it does bring wisdom, does bring growth and expansion and all that. But the shadow side of Jupiter in the fifth house is that you need to be mindful of not needing excessive external validation, and also be mindful of not oversharing or burn out due to ego driven decision. So don't make decision based on your ego and pride. This is a time of risk taking, definitely. Fifth house is all about risk taking. It is the house of speculation as well, gambling and all that. So just be mindful of that as well, that you're not gambling too much during this time, especially without doing any research and all that. So definitely here there is going to be a desire to take risk during this time, whether it's in creativity, romance, with investments, with money, whatever that might be, there is definitely will be some sort of risk taking. Just make sure it's not from an egoistic place, but more from an authentic place. So you're following what you desire, what you really want to do, and not just what looks good or what boosts your ego. So during this 1 year, do express yourself fully, but do it from a very authentic place. Now, the bottom line over here is definitely this year is all about creative breakthrough and confidence rebirth. So, this 1 year with Jupiter in the fifth house is definitely very much about some sort of creative breakthrough cycle and confidence rebirth. Now, just to add to this transit, South Node will be moving in the sign of Leo towards the end of July and will remain in the sign of Leo for the next 18 months. So it will be affecting this Jupiter transit as well for most of its transit in Leo. Now, South Node is a mathematical point of the moon, the way the sun and moon works out. South Node is the point of release, of karmic release and all that. It's the point where we have unfinished business. It's the point where we have some sort of ingrained behavior, something that we have mastered already. Now, Jupiter connecting with South Node does obviously gives you the opportunity to engage in passions, past passions, whether it's creative, whether it's romantic, whatever that might be. Some sort of past passion may resurface during this time. So it's very important that you are examining what you are getting into, and whatever you engage in during this time, make sure it's done from a place of authenticity, not just attention and applause, Aries. Thank you very much. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Taurus, Leo occupies your fourth house, so Jupiter will be transiting through your fourth house for the next 1 year. Now, Jupiter enters Leo on 30th of June 2026, all the way until 26th of July 2027. So this is an over a year transit for you. Now, with Jupiter in the fourth house, the spotlight will be on the life foundation upgrades and all that. Now, Jupiter is a very expansive, benefic energy. It brings growth, brings luck, brings blessings wherever it goes. It literally amplifies whatever energy it touches. So, whatever planets or house it is interacting with, the energy of that house or sign will be amplified. Now, in the fourth house, which deals with home matters, family, roots, emotional security, inner life, your living situation, your home, your house, your address, all that gets a boost during this 1 year. So you can expect some sort of growth coming through during this time, especially where your foundations are concerned. And this doesn't have to be only the physical foundation, it can also be your sense of belonging, your sense of security, your sense of stability, and all that gets an upgrade and all that. Now, this can mean obviously you're moving, relocating. This can mean you're decorating, DIY, or this could be just nesting energy, Taurus. Now, during this time, Jupiter will bring luck to your home and living situation. So there will be growth. Now, this obviously, as I mentioned, is a classic relocation or upgrade transit of moving houses. So this can mean you're expanding your living space, maybe moving to a bigger place, or just more happier living conditions. Your family members or or the people you live with or the people you're surrounded by are more in a positive state of mind or can bring growth through them as well. So here you could be improving your home life or literally improving the physical house as well. Now, you will feel more comfortable and more stable wherever you are. So even if you're not moving, wherever you are, you will feel more upbeat about it. Your relationship with your family members and all will also change significantly, definitely during this 1 year. Now, this can bring additional family members as well because Jupiter amplifies. So it could be through marriage, through moving in together, it could be through children, pregnancy, childbirth, whatever, or you could just be getting into a connection relationship and you're becoming serious about it, so you're moving together and all that. So it can indicate all sorts of application where your fourth house matters are concerned, Taurus. Now, fourth house is a house of your private life, your emotional foundation, your inner world. And this is also on subconscious level. So this can bring emotional healing because Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It's to do with knowledge, wisdom, it's to do with blessings, optimism, and all that. So here in the fourth house, there can be some sort of emotional relief after a heavy cycle, Taurus. This could mean healing family dynamics. This could mean feeling at home within yourself as well. And also life finally gives you room to breathe during this period. So here there can be major shifts and expansion where your emotional world is concerned. So family growth, improved family situations, you taking on a nurturing role as well, or just redefining what all this means to you. You're seeking a beautiful and meaningful environment to grow in, Taurus. Now, fourth house is a natural water house because it's naturally ruled by Cancer. Even though Taurus, for you, Leo is a sign that rules your fourth house, but in the zodiac wheel, fourth house is naturally ruled by the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign, which is ruled by the moon. So here, Jupiter in the fourth house is a great position because Jupiter is naturally exalted in the sign of Cancer. So in your fourth house, Jupiter is kind of receiving some sort of exaltation. So this can mean inner life expansion, strong intuition, desire for reflection, emotional grounding. You feel more anchored internally. You may become more private as well, more emotionally solid as well during this time. Your nervous system also settles down. Your sense of safety deepens as well as you are building inner strength during this time. So strong emotional resilience and sense of belonging can develop as well with Jupiter in the fourth house. Now, everything Taurus comes with challenges as well, with some sort of shadow side. So Jupiter, even though it's a great benefic energy, brings blessings and optimism and expansion and growth and all that, excess of anything is not good. So with Jupiter in the fourth house, where it naturally expands and amplifies everything, the downside can be over attachment to comfort zones, emotional overindulgence as well. Family dynamic may become too overwhelming or too big to handle during this time, or you could be avoiding external growth for comfort and safety. So just be mindful to not get stuck in a situation, especially if it's not growing, because Jupiter can make you very complacent as well because it appears everything is stable and comfortable, even though it's not leading to any growth. And when Jupiter moves out of your fourth house, all that can hit you. So the best way to work with this transit during this time, this 13 months period, the best way is to improve your home space, do some sort of emotional processing and healing, some reflection and all that, repair any family connection, home situation and all that, create a space, inner base. And the things to avoid during this time is not stay in comfort zone too long, especially if it's unhealthy. And emotional avoidance through isolation is also not recommended during this time. Letting the past define your present safety is also not recommended during this time. Even though you may have a situation in the past, it may not be meaningful for you anymore. That needs to be released as well. So definitely this is a year of building your foundation. Now, Taurus, South Node will be entering your fourth house as well towards the end of July for the next 18 months. So during most of the transit of Jupiter in Leo, South Node will be interacting with this energy as well. Now, the degree may not be as close, but it is going to get closer and closer as the year progresses. Now, South Node is the mathematical point. It is not a planetary object. So the energy is very subconscious. The way it manifests, it's very subconscious, very psychological. Now, when South Node connects with Jupiter, in your fourth house. This can bring focus to old family patterns, childhood conditioning, and all that. You may be reconnecting or revisiting past patterns and all that during this time. So it's very important that growth comes through understanding your root, but not becoming trapped by the past or your family or home situation or your past situation and all that. So it's important to release emotional attachment to old family dynamics, especially if they're unhealthy, and embrace building a future that's more aligned to your authentic self, Taurus. So that's very important. In order to get the best out of this Jupiter energy, you must release what's not useful for you anymore, Taurus, and build a home, a foundation, strong, resilient, something that nurtures your heart and soul, Taurus. Thank you. Hello, Geminis. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Geminis, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026, all the way until July 26, 2027. So it's a little over a year transit, and this is activating your third house. Now, Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It's about blessings, luck, optimism, growth, expansion, and all that. And this energy will be moving through your third house. Now, this is a very busy, very active, very mentally stimulating Jupiter placement. So during these 13 months, Jupiter can help you begin a voice amplification and mind amplification cycle. So you're more confident in your speech, in your expression, in your communication, and all that. Now, third house is the house of your mind. It's the house of your thought process, your mindset, your outlook, your communication, conversations, learning, writing, speaking, your peers, relatives, siblings, your local environment, your daily reality, short trips, and just your community, just your immediate community and all that. So Jupiter entering the third house here will lead to expressing without fear, because you are feeling very lucky, very optimistic, and very blessed with this Jupiterian energy. Now, everything that is third house is going to expand. So this can lead to major glow up in terms of your mindset, in terms of positive speakings, positive speech, because Jupiter is a positive energy. It brings confidence. So your speech becomes positive and confident during this year. Now, this is a time to share ideas publicly. You could be writing, posting, teaching. During this time, Geminis, you want to be heard more, and this will come easily as well. This is a very good time for content creation, putting your voice out there. So podcasts. This could also mean a teaching, learning and all that. So short courses as well is a great idea. New skills development is a great idea during this time. And these things will come quickly to you as well. So if you do start to learn something new, the knowledge will come to you quickly. So you will be a quick learner as well during this time. So your curiosity definitely is going up. Third house does deal with your curiosity, because you want to know more. So your curiosity spikes during this time. You may be really interested in multiple things all at once as well. Now, just be mindful to not be jack of all trade during this time, Geminis. So do connect your ideas in a bigger and smarter ways during this time. Now, obviously, as I mentioned before, this can lead to mental expansion overload as well, but mostly in a good way. This mind expansion is in a good way, Geminis. Now, obviously, third house also deals with short trips. So there will be opportunities or several opportunities for short trips. You may want to take short travels just around the city or just right outside the city and all that. So this is not a long haul travel. This is not going abroad. This is local travel. So within the city or around the city, there will be a lot of short trips, a lot of car trips, lots of moving around, lots of movement during this time. This can also mean increased social interaction. This can also bring up networking opportunities for you because you're moving so much in your local environment. So definitely you will feel very busy, very connected during this time, and all this will lead to growth, definitely. Now, obviously, your close connection is also a third house matter, meaning your peers, your relatives, your siblings. So Jupiter here will bring improved relationship with your siblings, your peers, and all that. So you may get more involved in your local community during this time, more conversations that can open doors or can change your perspective, because third house is a house of your thought process, the house of your mindset, your outlook. So Jupiter is amplifying all these energies. So this can mean more positive thinking, new perspective, becoming wiser during this time, definitely. So your change in perspective can open new doors as well during this year. Now, your thoughts, your perspective, your voice, all that carries weight, Geminis. Now, everything comes with the challenges, everything comes with the shadow side, Gemini. So, Jupiter, even though it's a very benefic energy, very positive energy, it does have its shadow side. So, you need to be mindful of information overload and scattered focus. So, you may feel all over the place where your mind, thought process, and all that is concerned. There can be a lot of overthinking as well because there's so many, information coming through to you or is floating around, that decision making can also become a little bit scattered. So it's very important to ground yourself and really not overshare or over talk during this time, because this can lead to mental burnout, Geminis. So the lesson here with the shadow side is focus on expression with discernment. Discernment is key to the third house because it's about communication. It's your mind. So you don't want to be too fragmented where your thought process is concerned. So it's important to ground yourself and use your discernment as you speak and as you make decisions, Geminis. Now, the pace of life will definitely speed up during this year. This is a high input and high output cycle. So the more you put in, the more you gain from it. The best way to work with this transit is to use it to maybe write, speak, share ideas, content creation, actively learn something, develop your skills, network. All this can help you because third house is also the house of small business ideas or contracts and all that. So here Jupiter can bring this blessing to these matters as well. So these are the things you're leaning into, Geminis. Now, the things to avoid during this time is any mental chaos with no structure, because Jupiter can bring that energy during this time. And also talking without grounding yourself, because it is a Leo energy after all, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So it's all about the ego self. So your communication can come from an egoistic place because Jupiter is amplifying. That's the shadow side of Jupiter in Leo in your third house, because it's communication plus ego self plus amplification all combined together can mean speaking from an egoistic place, wanting to have the last word or the need to be right all the time. It's important to avoid these because this can lead to issues as you communicate and connect with people. This can lead to problems within your connections and all that. So it's very important to ground yourself first, and you don't need to say yes to everything without thinking. So do the thinking first, reflect, use your knowledge, experience, your wisdom before you speak, Geminis. Now, definitely during this 1 year, life will expand as a result of you communicating your truth, because Jupiter is truth. It's the truth-seeking energy. In the third house, it's about expressing your truth, Geminis. That's how life will expand during this 1 year, by being authentic. Now, South Node will be entering the third house in the sign of Leo end of July. And during most of the transit of Jupiter in the third house, South Node will be there too. Now, South Node is the mathematical point of the sun and the moon. It is not a physical object in the sky. So the energy manifests in a very subconscious way, in a very psychological way. Now, South Node is about releasing,
past energies. It's where we have unfinished business. It's the ingrained behavior in ourselves. So with South Node interacting with Jupiter in your third house, old conversation, old ideas, old opportunities, mental opportunities, whether it's learning opportunity, education opportunity, whatever that might be, these can return during this time, or past thinking, past thought process, past communication can resurface during this time. So you may rediscover a talent for writing, for teaching, for speaking, and all that during this time as well. So it's important to be mindful of not becoming overly attached to being right during this time, Geminis, because what you're releasing during this time is the need to have the last word. And what you're embracing during this time is sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, and your ideas with more humility. So that's the Jupiter in Leo transit for you, Geminis. Your life grows and expands through communicating your inner truth. Thank you. Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Cancer, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026 all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a 13-year transit in the sign of Leo, which is your second house, Cancer. So Jupiter will be amplifying and activating your second house. Now, Jupiter is a benefic energy in astrology. It deals with growth, expansion, optimism, confidence. It brings blessings, luck wherever it goes. So Jupiter in your second house is one of the most directly practical abundance placement. Here it amplifies your money situation, your self-worth, and all that. Now, second house is the house of your income, your earnings, financial stability, personal resources, self-worth, your talents, your skills, your material security, and all that. So here with Jupiter in your second house, what you value and how you value yourself begins to grow. So this is definitely giving boost to your self-worth, your confidence level, Cancer. Now Jupiter expands wherever it goes. So here during this 13 months period, what is expanding for you, Cancer, is your income growth potential. It is your income potential. So there's a growth in your income potential, earning potential. This is a money expansion transit. So there can be new income streams, salary can go up, there can be a promotion, or you could be monetizing a talent or a skill during this time. Here you will definitely be given better financial opportunities. This is not always instant wealth, Cancer, but it opens doors that weren't there before. So this doesn't mean a windfall of money, but it means the opportunities will come your way that will help you make those money. Now, second house is also the house of talents. It's a house of your skill set. So here your talents become valuable currency. So whatever you know, whatever experience you have gained is a great way to make money. So your skills become profitable. You can turn a hobby or a talent into income stream. Your knowledge becomes your source of income during this time, Cancer. Now, second house is also the house of your self-worth, your worthiness, how you see yourself, how you value yourself, and all that. So Jupiter here will definitely give you more confidence in your own sense of worth. Your self-esteem will grow. Now is the time to ask for more money for your talents and skills as well. There is a need for respect towards your talents and skills as well. The opportunities and the doors will open as you value yourself. Do not tolerate undervaluing yourself, whether by yourself or by others during this time, Cancer. Now, as your finances improve and your self-worth improves, your lifestyle also goes through an upgrade. Here, there can be an improved quality of life. There may be more comfort, more stability, more spending power as well. You may spend more, earn more during this time. This is also a great time to invest in yourself and invest in finances as well. You know, all that. Just be mindful of doing your research before you spend or invest your money. During this 13 months period, Cancer, there's a focus on self-sufficiency because second house is a natural Taurus house. And Taurus is all about material security. It's about being self-sufficient, not depending on others, being resourceful, having the possessions, the assets, and all that. It's the house of sustenance as well, how you sustain yourself. So definitely self-sufficiency and gaining resources or maintaining or keeping resources is definitely also the theme of the next 13 months. So during this time, you definitely focus on building your finances up. So definitely a good time to do some sort of financial planning, budget, because Jupiter's second house can also mean overspending, overindulgence as well, because you feel very confident, even overconfident where your financial situation are concerned. So it's very important to be mindful of this. Now, during this transit, Jupiter here will definitely give a boost psychologically as well, because your identity becomes grounded in your own value. Your confidence becomes very practical. Self-image improves, and all this can turn into self-reliance. So you do get a ego boost definitely, because it is a Leo sign after all. Jupiter is in the sign of Leo. So all this improved finances, self-worth, and all that will give you an ego boost most definitely. Now just be mindful. This is not just about money. This transit in the second house, Jupiter transit in the second house, is not just about cash. It's not just about physical money. It's about the worth you embody within yourself, your intrinsic value, Cancer. So during this time, there's a need to stop needing this external validation to feel valuable within yourself. It's important to make choices that reflect self-respect and also strengthens your boundary. So this is more about internal confidence and internal worth more than external validation. Now everything comes with challenges and shadow sides. So Jupiter in the second house also comes with its challenges. Now Jupiter is a very benefic, very positive energy, but because of its expansive nature and amplifying nature, it amplifies everything that it touches, even the challenges. So Jupiter in the second house, challenges can include overspending or overindulgence, or confusing comfort with security, or attaching self-worth to income or your resources and all that, or taking too much financial risk because it's attached to your ego self, your pride and all that. Here, overconfidence can lead to loss, especially where finances are concerned. So it's very important to be mindful of where you're investing, what risks you are taking during this time, and not waste away your money, Cancer. Now, the best way to work with this transit is to monetize your skill, ask for more money, more salary, build financial stability during this time, invest in yourself and all that, and avoid undervaluing yourself or your work, or indulging in emotional spending cycles, or engaging in fear-based financial decisions, Cancer. Now, South Node will be in the sign of Leo end of July for the next 18 months. So it will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit in the sign of Leo in your second house. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a physical planetary object. So the energy of South Node manifests more on a subconscious, more on a psychological level. So there will be major shifts in your finances over the next 18 months. So with Jupiter energy and South Node energy combined in the second house, past financial opportunities may reappear during this period, and you could benefit from skills you have already gained. But this combination of South Node and Jupiter also asks whether your value is tied to possessions, income, or status. Because during this time with the South Node energy, it's very important to release validation through material success and embrace confidence that is more rooted in self-worth, in your inner worthiness, Cancer. Thank you. Hello, Leos. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Leos, you're at the forefront of this transit because it's occurring in your sign. So Jupiter will be activating your first house. Now, Jupiter will be moving in your sign on 30th of June 2026 all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a 13 months transit. This is one of the most significant personal expansion cycle in 12-year period years, because Jupiter takes 12 years to return back to a sign. So 12 years ago, Jupiter was in the sign of Leo. Now it's back in your first house. This is a reinvention, self-birth transit. Now, first house is what is being activated. So first house is all about identity. It's about your body image, your health, your vitality, your confidence, your personal direction, your visibility, your ego self, your projection, how you present yourself, your appearance, your look, overall how others experience you. Now, with Jupiter in the first house, you are meeting a more visible version of you, more confident version of you, more optimistic version of you. This can be a go-getter energy for the next 13 months, Leos, for you. So what Jupiter will be expanding during this 13-month cycle is your identity. This is a big one, Leos. Your identity expands. You're more visible. You may feel more confident in who you are. You are less concerned with external approval during this time. You're more willing to take space during this time. And a stronger sense of this is me energy definitely comes out during this time. This is by no means a subtle transit for you, Leos, especially if you have Leo rising. This is affecting your first house. But even if you have placement, Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury in the sign of Leo, you will definitely be amplifying that aspect of life. So this is not subtle by any means. People will notice you over the next 13 months. Now, visibility and presence definitely will increase. So this is a be seen transit. Attention and recognition definitely increases, improves as well. Your reputation improves as well. How you project yourself, how you appear, all that improves. The combination of Jupiter and Leo can also mean leadership opportunities. You know, your impression, your first impression is very strong during this time. People are responding more positively to you during this time. You naturally stand out more even without trying, Leo. So definitely this is major amplification of physical vitality and energy, and gives you energy boost as well. So you can expect more energy, improved health, bigger presence, posture, aura, confidence, all that improves. There is a desire to upgrade your appearance or your style, personal style as well. So you could go for a makeover or change your hair or your look or the clothing you wear, you know, your style, fashion style, personal style, whatever that is, can go through an upgrade as well. Something that makes you more visible, something that helps you stand out during this time, Leos. You feel more alive in your body with this transit. Now, first house is also your personal direction, your personal goals, life direction, life path, and all that. So a fresh chapter in life will start. Something new is going to start during this time, something that defines you, something that you desire. This can be a shift in purpose, identity, path. You may be making bold decisions about your future during this time as well. Now, on a more subconscious level, psychological level, the energy is shifting from the 12th house energy, where Jupiter was in the last 12 months, to the first house energy. So from the Cancer energy, it's moving to the Leo energy. So 12th to the 1st. So this means you're shifting from the inner closure and the release that you were going through the last 12 months to more outer external expression. You're emerging more on an external level, Leos. So this is very visible transit for you. Last 12 months, you have been clearing, integrating, releasing, all behind the scenes. Now Jupiter is asking you to step forward and move upwards. The core gift, the core blessing in the first house is major confidence boost. This is an expansion cycle. So you will not need to fake confidence. The self-confidence will emerge naturally, Leos. Now, everything comes with the shadow side, the challenges and all that. So even though Jupiter is a blessing, is a lucky energy, it brings growth, expansion, optimism, positivity, and all that, the shadow side is that Jupiter magnifies everything it touches. It amplifies, it expands, exaggerates wherever it goes. So in the first house, which is already the house of the self, and Leo is the sign of ego. So Jupiter here can really amplify your sense of self and your ego self. So your identity and ego is amplified, can be over the top as well. Your perception of yourself, your confidence, all that can be, exaggerated as well. So you need to watch out for overconfidence or overextending yourself or taking on too much at once during this time, because you feel good about yourself, you feel confident, you can do everything, so you take on too much. So you need to be mindful of that energy as well. This is definitely an image inflation cycle, but just be mindful that you're grounding yourself and you're rooting yourself in authenticity as you grow during this cycle. Now, just be cautious of not saying yes to everything or and every experience or every opportunity, because that can lead to burnout as well. Here, growth with awareness is important, not with excess. Now, the best way to work with this transit of Jupiter in your first house is to lean into new beginnings, personal branding, self-presentation, leadership role, saying yes to visibility, trying out new ways to express yourself, whether it's physically or mentally. All these are definitely positive manifestations of this transit, but just be mindful to avoid staying in the background out of habit. Also, just be mindful of overcommitting just because opportunities appear, and be mindful of any ego-driven decision made without grounding yourself. So it's important to be authentic as you, ground yourself and make the right decision for you, not ego-based decisions. Now, during this transit, Leo, you're not becoming something new. You're only becoming more of yourself, more of what already exists is amplifying. You're not just switching to a different personality or becoming a different person. You're just becoming more and more confident version of yourself going forward. So this is surely a reinvention cycle for you, Leos. Now, South Node will be entering the sign of Leo as well towards the end of July for next 18 months, and will be interacting with Jupiter for most of its transit in Leo. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a physical object in the sky. So the energy of South Node manifests more on a subconscious level, more on psychological level. Now, South Node is our comfort zone where we have unfinished business, where our ingrained behavior lies. So with South Node connecting with Jupiter in your first house, this can be a major turning point for you, because old version of yourselves are being magnified, so you can see what needs to be released during this time. You may experience increased visibility, confidence, and recognition, but also realize that certain identities have run their course and you need to release them. So during this time, what you're releasing it outgrown self-definitions, and what you're embracing is authentic self-expression, Leos. Thank you. Hello, Virgos. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Virgos, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026, all the way until 26th July 2027. So it's a 13-month cycle, all activating your 12th house. Now, Virgos, this is one of the most quiet, internal, spiritual, and release-oriented Jupiter transits. It is about inner expansion that prepares you for the next chapter next year when Jupiter enters your sign, Virgo. Now, all this is happening in your 12th house. Now, 12th house is a house of the subconscious self. It's a house of spirituality, intuition, solitude, retreat, house of endings, closures, hidden patterns, dream state, healing, emotional healing, all the behind the scene activity, all the subconscious activity, things that are not conscious, things that remain more on the unconscious level. So all that is getting amplified with this Jupiter transit. Now, Jupiter in 12th means growth happens when you let go and trust the flow of life, of your energy, and just the universe in general. So Jupiter in 12th house will be presenting you with opportunities for emotional release. Now, Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It means expansion, growth, optimism, blessings, luck, and all that. So, in the 12th house, it can mean inner healing, emotional release. This is a healing cycle for you, Virgos. Here, you may experience emotional processing of old patterns, hidden struggles, hidden patterns, subconscious patterns. You're releasing long held stress or guilt patterns. There's a need for increased awareness of any subconscious blockages during this time, and Jupiter will help you gain that knowledge. Now, therapy, reflection, self-reflection, spiritual connection, spiritual growth, or all that is important during this time as well, because that will help you release, do the clearing and all that. It's not going to be comfortable, but it is going to be very meaningful, very release oriented, very clearing kind of energy. Now, 12th house is a house of the subconscious, so it also deals with your intuition, your dreams. So Jupiter amplifies these as well. So this can mean more vivid dreams. You may receive symbolic messages. Your intuition may be stronger during this time as well. Your interest in spirituality, meditation, all that is very strong during this time. There's a deeper sense of meaning. You start sensing what was previously invisible from yourself. So definitely Jupiter here is giving you some sort of protection behind the scene as well. Jupiter in 12th is considered as a divine protection energy. So here, this can help all that, it can help in the emotional releasing the blockages and all that. Now, 12th house also deals with solitude, retreat, resting, withdrawing from everyday life, society, and all that. It doesn't mean you're letting go of your daily habits and work and, your responsibility, obligations, and all that. It just means having enough time to rest and retreat as well during this time. So this is an important cycle to slow down, resting more than usual during this time. This is more of a working behind the scene kind of transit. You're pulling back from any overstimulation during this time. Now, Jupiter brings closure to long-term cycles, past cycles as well. So here, you're definitely completing some sort of karmic patterns, and this can be to do with any aspect of life, because 12th house is the last house of the zodiac wheel. So Jupiter has traveled from the first house all the way to the 12th house. So you are releasing last 12 years of emotional blockages, patterns, any subconscious blockages as well, any shame, guilt, grief, anything to do with your ego self. You are releasing all that during this time. You're letting go of outdated relationship, identities, things that no longer fit you. You are in subtle preparation for a new beginning for next year transit in your sign. So you're releasing all that during this time. Now, Jupiter here brings spiritual protection, as I mentioned. So this comes through subconscious clearing. Emotional burdens are reduced. There's an opportunity to reduce emotional burden, release anxiety patterns, and all this brings inner clarity. Now, all the transit comes with challenges, has shadow side as well. So does Jupiter in 12th house. Jupiter exaggerates and amplifies whatever it touches. So in the 12th house, this can mean excessive withdrawal or escapism, avoidance, distraction, or over isolation. You may be emotionally overwhelmed during this time. And if emotional patterns are not processed or reflected upon during this time, this can mean weak boundaries or, just withdrawing too much or avoiding too much, things that you shouldn't be avoiding as well. So just be mindful of that. If you feel emotionally overwhelmed, it's better to take rest and then come back to whatever you need, whatever you need your attention. Now, the best way to work with this transit, Virgo, is to lean into, maybe reflection, creating self-awareness, journaling, therapy, meditation, all that, resting, recovering, even creativity behind the scene, because 12th house is to do with your inspiration, imagination and all that. So definitely creativity behind the scene is a great theme as well here. And you're letting go of what feels heavy or outdated. Now, it's important to avoid forcing outward progress as well during this time, because 12th house Jupiter transit is not much to do with outward progress. It's more to do with internal processing. So even if you don't see outward results during this 13 months period, don't be disheartened, because that will come when Jupiter enters your sign. But don't force any outward progress during this time. Ignore any emotional signals or overcommitting socially or professionally during this time, Virgos. Now, South Node will be entering the sign of Leo in your 12th house towards the end of July for 18 months period. So it will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit in your 12th house. Now, South Node is the mathematical point. It's not a physical object in the sky. So the energy of South Node manifests more on subconscious, more on psychological level. Now, South Node is our comfort zone where we have unfinished business, where our ingrained behavior lies. So with Jupiter and South Node interacting together in the 12th house, the past may resurface, the past patterns may resurface. So here your dreams, memories, insights, all that become very strong. This can be a deeply healing transit, combination of South Node with Jupiter. This can be very healing, that helps you release old limiting or self-sabotaging patterns or emotional baggages. What you're releasing with these two combination in your 12th house is any hidden fears or self-undoing patterns, and what you're embracing is more trust and going with the flow with this combination in your 12th house, Virgos. Thank you. Hello Libras, welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now Libras, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026 all the way until 26th of July 2027. Now this is a 13 months transit, all activating your 11th house, because that's the house Leo sign sits in. So Jupiter will be transiting through your 11th house for the next 13 months. Now, this is one of the most socially expansive, opportunity-rich Jupiter placements you can get. This transit can bring gains, can bring like-minded network, can really bring future aspiration to the forefront. So this is definitely a future-building transit cycle for you, Libras. Now, 11th house is the house of your support system. It's the house of friend circle, social circle, communities, network, long-term goals, visibility in groups or group projects or alliances, acquaintances, and all that. This is the house of gains, both financial and social. So here your future expands through the people you align with. Now, Jupiter is a benefic energy. It brings growth, expansion, luck, blessings. It brings confidence. It brings positivity, optimism, and all that wherever it goes. So in the 11th house, this can mean a big network growth cycle. Here you meet supportive people, like-minded people. Your social circle is definitely growing. You are joining new communities, new groups, new alliances. The connections you make now, Libras, can really help shape your future as well. So here, Jupiter is definitely very much goal-oriented. It brings a forward movement energy. During this time, your dream starts manifesting. During this time, your long-term plans and goals can gain momentum. This transit will definitely align you with future opportunities. So you will have support for your project, you're building, any creative project, any group project, any project that you are putting out for others to see, an audience, because 11th house is also the house of your following, your audience, people who support you. And this is not just people you know, but people you don't know as well. Your support system, your subscribers, your followers, and all that. So Jupiter here definitely will be opening doors for you. Now, 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes and profits and gains and all that. So here there can be financial gains as well through the opportunities that you embrace. Now, Jupiter here can bring financial opportunity through people you connect with, or the audience that you connect with. This energy can bring in beneficial collaborations or connections. This transit can bring beneficial collaborations, growth in audience, reach, and visibility. Unexpected support or lucky breaks are definitely possible during this transit. So success comes through putting yourself out there rather than isolating yourself, Libras. Now, during this transit, you may become more recognized. You may be seen as a contributor. You're valued for your ideas, for your presence. You are naturally influential during this time. You have social relevance and impact during this time. Now, the Jupiter energy is shifting from the 10th house, where it was the last 12 months in the sign of Cancer for you Libras, to 11th house. So 10th house is the house of your career, professional life, ambition, goals, and all that, and your status and all that. And 11th house is the house of community and support system, contribution, visibility, and all that. So here, the shift is from status to community for the success, for your ambition, and also the goals that you have will be achieved through your support system. Now the shift from 10th house to 11th house means who you know matters as much as what you do, Libras. So the next 13 months, definitely, you will see an increase in visibility. You will gain support from unexpected places as well. Doors can open through introductions and just being in the right place at the right time, basically. Now, all the transit comes with challenges and shadow side as well. So does this one. With Jupiter in the 11th house, where it amplifies and exaggerates whatever it touches, here there can be exaggeration to the social energy. So just be mindful of overcommitting socially. Too many people to connect with and not enough focus can lead to burnout. So just be mindful of that. Also, idealizing groups of friends and spreading your energy thin is also not recommended during this time. Now, the main lesson of Jupiter in the 11th house is quality of connections is more important than quantity of connections. Now, the best way to use this transit is to lean more into network intentionally, collaborating on shared goals, connecting with like-minded people, sharing your vision publicly, saying yes to group opportunities, definitely. And it's also important to avoid socializing without purpose, losing personal direction in group identity, and taking on too many group projects during this time, Libras. So your future unfolds through people you choose to grow with, Libras, during this 13-month cycle. Now, South Node will be entering in the sign of Leo at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So it will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit in the sign of Leo. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a planetary object in the sky. So the energy of the South Node manifests more on psychological, subconscious level. Now, South Node is our comfort zone. It's where we have unfinished business. It's where our ingrained behavior lies. So South Node connecting with Jupiter in your 11th house, Libras, this can mean old connections, networks may re-enter your life during this time. You could reconnect with people who were once important in your life. Now, during this time, the lesson is to learn the difference between genuine belonging and just seeking approval from others. So what you're releasing during this period is needing external validation, and what you're embracing during this time is connecting with like-minded, authentic people. Thank you. Hello, Scorpios. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo transit. Now, Scorpios, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026 all the way until 26th July 2027. Now, this is a 13-month cycle, and this is activating your 10th house because that's where the Leo sign sits. So this is one of the most visible, career-shaping, reputation-expanding cycles for you, Scorpios. This is public success plus life direction upgrade transit. Now, 10th house is the house of career, vocation, public image, reputation, achievements, status, life direction, authority figures and all that. And Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It brings expansion and growth wherever it goes. It is all about optimism, confidence, enthusiasm, positivity, blessings, luck, and all that. So, with Jupiter in your 10th house, your life becomes more visible and your direction or reputation expands during this time. So, here you can expect career growth or more opportunities around career matters. Now, this can be your job, business, any kind of goals you're trying to achieve. Now, you may experience some sort of promotion during this time or increased responsibilities as well, or leadership role as well during this time. This can bring new professional opportunities as well, also recognition for your work. There can be shift to more visible work as well during this time. Now, Jupiter brings increased visibility most definitely. So you may be noticed for your skills or for your leadership. During this time, people will take you more seriously because you're stepping into your authority during this time. Now, this will bring life direction clarity. So you're more aligned with your purpose and clearer about your long-term goals. During this time, you may be making some serious decisions around your career path, your ambition, your professional goals, and all that. And all this becomes very easy as well during this time because Jupiter brings these blessings and confidence and optimism. So things grow naturally. Now, 10th house is also the house of the authority figure, your bosses, your managers, your seniors, and all that. So Jupiter here brings favors from your authority figure, from managers and bosses as well. So this can mean growth through favor or support from these connections. So you will be seen as capable where your work is concerned. This transit also pushes you into leadership role. Others may rely on you during this time. You may become more visible in your field during this time. Definitely, this is a positive growth where ambition, vocation, and just your career path are concerned. Now, Jupiter was moving through your 9th house for the last 12 months. So Jupiter is making the shift from 9th house energy to the 10th house energy, from Cancer energy to the Leo energy. So here you're moving more from the philosophical growth side or belief system growth to more embodying these energies within yourself and and projecting it out externally. So you're shifting from what you believe to what you are building in real world, Scorpios. Now, the main blessing with this transit is your life path becomes more defined during this period, or there's an opportunity to define your life path during this time. If a career path or job or profession or business is not fulfilling or is not satisfying, this is the time you can make that shift and you will be well supported in your decision. So this is a period of alignment between purpose and ambition. Your outer life is reflecting your inner evolution. Now, every transit comes with challenges and shadow side as well. So with Jupiter in your 10th house, where it exaggerates and amplifies whatever it touches, this can amplify pressure as well, pressure to be successful, pressure to have goals or achieve goals or be more visible or prove yourself through your work, through your capabilities, through your skills and all that. So there may be a pressure around that as well. So just be mindful of not taking on too much responsibilities during this time or overcommitting yourself professionally during this time. There can be a lot of ego pressure or public expectations as well. And also be mindful of burnout. Now, the main lesson here is you want to grow in a sustainable manner, not just quickly. So don't go for any quick gains where career matters are concerned. Plan your future, plan your goals, whatever you want to achieve in the future, and move accordingly. Now, the best way to work with this transit is to lean more into developing your career, taking on more leadership opportunities, building a professional reputation, saying yes to advancement, and doing some sort of long-term career planning as well. And the main thing to avoid with this transit is staying behind the scenes or behind the scene roles jobs that keep you behind the scenes. So it's good to avoid those ones. Also, being recognized, being visible, you need to be visible. You need to be visible during this time. So don't stay in the background during this time. Also, don't overload yourself with responsibilities during this time. So the message here with this transit is your work adds to your visibility. This is a career expansion, public recognition, life direction upgrade transit, Scorpios. Now, South Node will be entering the sign of Leo at the end of July for 18 months, and it will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit in Leo. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a planetary object in the sky. So the energy of it manifests more on a subconscious, more on a psychological level. Now, South Node is where our comfort zone is, where we have unfinished business, where our ingrained behavior lies. So as it interacts with Jupiter, during its transit in Leo, you may have career opportunities from past that may return during this time. Recognition, promotions, or leadership roles are possible, especially something from the past may resurface. Now, what this combination of South Node and Jupiter is asking you is whether your ambitions are driven by purpose, a sense of purpose, or by desire for recognition and status. So that's what you're trying to balance and decide. What is the main motivation of your future aspiration? Is it purpose, a sense of purpose, a sense of fulfillment, or just external validation? So you're releasing any attachment to external validation or prestige, and what you're embracing here is true, meaningful, authentic leadership roles, professional goals, and future aspirations, Scorpios. Thank you. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Sagittarius, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026, all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a 13 months transit. Now, this is all happening in your ninth house because that's the house ruled by the sign of Leo. Now, this is one of the most expansive, free, horizon opening cycles for you. During this transit, you would experience expansion in terms of traveling, learning, higher knowledge, teaching, publishing, truth seeking, overall exploration. Now, ninth house is a house of long distance travel. It's a house of higher education, philosophy, your belief systems, spiritual growth, legal matters, seeking meaning, and life direction. So Jupiter here is definitely going to expand your world. So during this time, your world gets bigger, Sagittarius, and so does your understanding of it. So it's really an exciting transit. Now, during these 13 months, you can expect increased traveling, especially long haul traveling, international travel, because ninth house is the house of international travel. So you may be exploring more during this time. This definitely exposes you to new culture, new way of living, new people, especially the ones who are very different from you. So you will have many opportunities to explore. Now, if it is not physical exploration, this can also be mental exploration. Now, the journeys that you take during this time can really bring massive life changes because you're interacting with different cultures, meeting new people, experiencing something which is unknown for you. And this can really help you grow as well. So during this 13 months, you will grow through lived experience, Sagittarius. Now, ninth house is also the house of learning, studying, knowledge, wisdom, and all that. So here, Jupiter can really expand these areas as well. So you could take on a higher education course. Maybe you're going to university during this time or planning on going to university during this time. You may be interested in new philosophies as well. You want to learn new subjects as well during this time. You may become very obsessed with one subject as well. That changes your worldview, Sagittarius. So here definitely there's an opportunity to teach and share your knowledge with a wider audience because ninth house is going beyond your current situation. So you are sharing it with a wider audience. Now, belief system also goes through transformation during this time. or goes through a growth during this time. Now, Jupiter energy is a very benefic energy. It brings blessings, luck, it brings expansion, growth, and all that. So you will experience all these energy in your ninth house over the next 13 months. Now, here you may question your old belief systems as well because you're adopting new ones. As you experience new energies, your worldview changes or it expands during this time. You may also experience some sort of spiritual growth, and your perspective will definitely widen during this time. Now, ninth house is also the house of religion, so you may be interested in new religion as well during this time. Now, Jupiter in the ninth house is also a very strong transit for coaching, for mentoring, for publishing your work. So if you have any skills, any talent, any way in which you can help others, this is a great time to teach, to publish your work as well. Really a good time to share your ideas and wisdom on a larger scale, as I already mentioned. But definitely, because your perspective is expanding and you're gaining more insight, your voice becomes part of something bigger during this time. So this is a great time to share your knowledge, share your wisdom, most definitely, Sagittarius. Now, last 1 year, Jupiter was moving through the sign of Cancer, which was your eighth house. Now, the next 13 months, it will be in your ninth house. So the shift is from the Cancerian energy to the Leo energy. So here you're moving from deep emotional transformation to a more expansive truth-seeking dynamic. So you are seeking transformation and growth and exploration through keeping your mind open, basically. Now, ninth house is a natural house for Jupiter. So Jupiter is at home in the ninth house. So this is a lucky placement, most definitely. Now, here Jupiter will give you many possibilities. It will make you very optimistic. Your life direction may be more clear as well during this time. And all this comes through experience. During this 1 year, you may realize that life is bigger than your current story. So the path you have been on, Sagittarius, is shifting, and Jupiter in the ninth house is opening your mind up. Here you can really gain more understanding of your life path, and this can be very much different from what you have been living until now. So opportunities will appear, Sagittarius. You just need to be open and willing to learn and willing to move around. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow side. Jupiter in ninth house, even though it's a very benefic, very lucky energy and very growth-oriented energy, Jupiter also can bring overconfidence because Jupiter exaggerates or expands wherever it goes. So here, you need to be mindful of overcommitting to too many directions, life directions, too many goals, too many things you want to do. There can be overconfidence in your beliefs as well. You may feel as if you are a know-it-all. Now, just be mindful of these energies. Now, because Jupiter is an expansive planet, your energy can be scattered or fragmented as well during this time because you have too many interests. So it's very important to avoid all this through grounding yourself and any responsibilities that you may have during this time. It's very important to be more authentic, true to yourself, and take on what you can handle during this time, Sagittarius. So the best way to work with this transit of Jupiter in your ninth house is lean more into learning, traveling, sharing knowledge, teaching, expanding your worldview, saying yes to unfamiliar experiences and all that, and avoid any rigid thinking, staying in your comfort zone, or over promising based on just enthusiasm alone. It's very important to be authentic and grounded during this time. Now, the main message with Jupiter in the ninth house is your life is expanding. Now, the main message for Jupiter in ninth house for you, Sagittarius, is your life expansion is in direct proportion to how you are willing to move around, explore, and keep an open mind. Then only will you be able to grow morally, physically, and spiritually, Sagittarius. Now, South Node will be moving in the sign of Leo in your ninth house towards the end of July for 18 months period, and it will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a physical object in the sky. So its energy manifests more on a subconscious level, more on a psychological level. So South Node is our comfort zone, where we have unfinished business, where our ingrained behavior lies. So with South Node connecting with Jupiter together in your ninth house, this can be a powerful review of your worldview. Here, old mentors, old learning patterns, or old studies or courses you wanted to take may reappear. So you're being asked to expand beyond your beliefs during this time. So you're being asked to expand beyond beliefs that once served you but now limits your growth. So release any dogmatic thinking, Sagittarius, and embrace lifelong learning. Thank you. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Capricorn, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026, all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a little over a year transit. It's a 13-month cycle, all happening in your 8th house because that's the house ruled by Leo in your chart. Now, Capricorn, Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It brings blessings, luck, expansion, growth. It brings optimism, confidence, enthusiasm, and all that. So you will experience all this energy in your 8th house matter. Now, this is one of the most intense, transformative, psychologically deep Jupiter placement. So this transit will help you move from shadow side to an empowered state of mind. Now, 8th house is a house of transformation. It's a house of psychological depth. It's a house of intimacy, trust, shared finances, debts, loans, investments. It's a house of power dynamics as well. It's a house of emotional merging and also endings and rebirth cycles. So here with the Jupiter in your 8th house, your hidden fears will be the catalyst for your healing. Now, Jupiter here indicates that your growth comes through by going deeper, not wider. So it's important to delve deeper in your own psychology, in your own emotions, in your own situation to find a way through. Now, with Jupiter in the ninth house, what expands during this 13-month cycle is your finances, your shared resources. This can be a major resource shifting transit. You may experience access to loans during this time, to grants, to finances. You may gain financial backing during this time, or partners' income may improve or change during this time. There can be investment opportunities as well. You may be able to pay off loan as well during this time, or pay off debt during this time if you have any. This can also lead to some sort of settlement, inheritance, or financial resolution, Capricorn. Now, this transit is not just about money. It's about gaining that shared system of support for yourself. Now, 8th house is also the house of deep emotions and emotional entanglements as well. It's the house of trust. It's the house of intimacy and all that. So Jupiter here promotes emotional bonding. Here, there would be more trust in relationship. There will be more vulnerability, more honesty during this cycle. Your ability to connect with others will be more on a deeper level, not surface level. Now, since Jupiter brings blessing and is a benefic energy, this transit can also lead to psychological healing. So if there has been any trauma or fear, shame, guilt, grief, anything, this Jupiter brings lucky energy to the 8th house matter. So this can mean powerful healing. You may be confronting deep emotional patterns during this time. You may be releasing old fears or control issues during this time. Here, you're healing past traumas, or long held emotional blockages as well, because you are gaining insight with Jupiter in there. Jupiter is wisdom as well. It's higher knowledge. So here you gain insight into your conscious motivation behind 8th house matters. Now 8th house is a house of transformation. So this is a rebirth cycle as well for you. Jupiter here marks the ending of old emotional chapters. This will lead to identity shifts from a crisis to more insights. Now, during this time, letting go of outdated attachments is essential. Any financial entanglements, any emotional entanglements, especially the unhealthy one, will be released or needs to be released, Capricorn. Now you are becoming emotionally stronger and more self-aware as the transit progresses. This is not a superficial transit by any means, Capricorn. This is very much a core level shift. Now, last 1 year, Jupiter was moving through the sign of Cancer, which is your seventh house, and now it will be in the sign of Leo. So the shift is also from the seventh house to the eighth house energy. So you are shifting from external bonding to more internal merging. So it's not just a commitment and relationship, you're combining forces during this time, whether it's emotional or financial. So the focus is a lot on trust, control, emotional vulnerability, power dynamics, and all that in a relationship. Now, Capricorns, this transit may not be the easiest one because even though it is Jupiter, it is the eighth house, which is a very deep house. But the transit will definitely be powerful. It will surely empower you by the end of it. So here, the main gift, the main blessing that Jupiter brings is it gives you emotional strength through deep truth. You gain more resilience, you gain more emotion, you become more emotionally intelligent. This will also bring you some sort of freedom from any fear patterns. And it's also important to have strong relational boundaries as well during this time, Capricorns. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow side, so does Jupiter. So here it's important to be mindful of any power struggles in relationship. This can at times feel emotionally overwhelming, or there can be some sort of fixation as well on emotional entanglements or financial entanglements during this time. So you will gain clarity in any financial or emotional situation. So it's important to gain more awareness, less control, and more trust during this period. Now, the best way to work with this transit is to lean more into maybe shadow work, inner healing, maybe therapy if you need therapy, if you think you need therapy, go for it. Also, honest conversations in relationship, financial planning with others, also emotional depth rather than avoidance. And also just be mindful to not suppress your emotions during this time or avoid uncomfortable truths around power struggle. And also just be mindful to not suppress your emotions or avoid uncomfortable truths around finances, relationship, power dynamics, secrecy, and all that. So during this 13-month cycle, with Jupiter in the eighth house, your key message, Capricorn, is your power will increase in proportion to how willing you are to face what you usually avoid, Capricorns. Now, South Node will be entering the sign of Leo as well, and this will be at the end of July 2026. So here, South Node will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit in your eighth house. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a physical object in sky. So its energy manifests more on a subconscious, more on a psychological level. Now, South Node is our comfort zone, the unfinished business we have, the ingrained behavior, and all that. That's South Node energy. So here with Jupiter interacting with South Node, deep emotional and financial things will re-emerge and will need some sort of resolution. So if there are any old debts, inheritance, investments, financial or emotional, all that may require your attention during this time. So during this time, profound healing is definitely available to you if you're willing to let go of control issues, Capricorns. So during this period, you must release your fear of vulnerability and embrace emotional transformation, Capricorns. Thank you. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Aquarius, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June 2026, all the way until 26th of July 2027. So it's a little over a year transit. It's a 13-month cycle, and this is activating your seventh house. Now, Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It's all about blessings, expansion, growth, luck, optimism, enthusiasm, confidence, and all that. So you will experience this blessing through your seventh house matters. Now, this is one of the most important relationship and partnership cycles for you, Aquarius. Here you can experience expansion through social interaction, one-to-one dynamics, and all that. Now, seventh house is the house of relationship, partnership, and these are committed partnership, whether it's romantic or business. This seventh house is also the house of marriage, long-term commitments, contracts, agreements, social interactions, and all that. So here with Jupiter in your seventh house, your life will expand through relationship that mirrors your growth, Aquarius. Now, Jupiter is an expansive energy, as I mentioned before. So here you may meet someone significant during this transit. Here, new romantic relationship may enter your life, or existing relationship may deepen during this time. There is a possibility to commit as well, but Jupiter is not much about longevity. It's more about confidence, enthusiasm, positivity. Saturn brings long-term commitment, but Jupiter can also bring some sort of movement where relationships are concerned, especially if you're already in a relationship. So there can be commitment to existing relationship. So with this Jupiter transit, you will attract supportive partnership, visible partnership, relationship that grows you, something that is meaningful, something that is more defined, Aquarius. Now, seventh house is also the house of business partnership. So here your partnership in business may also see some growth. So you may get involved in some sort of collaborations during this time, or business partnership may form or expand during this time. Here you may work closely with others towards some sort of shared goals. Now, seventh house is also the house of contracts and agreements. So benefits can come through signing a contract or an agreement as well. Just be mindful of not becoming over enthusiastic and overconfident. So do read the fine prints before you sign any contract. Now, with Jupiter in the seventh house, success comes through cooperation, not isolation. So do connect with people during this time, Aquarius. Now, seventh house is a natural Libra house, so it has a mirroring effect to it. So here you may be projecting yourself onto others, or others may project onto you. So Jupiter will bring people who expand your self-awareness during this time. There may be a challenge to your identity as well, but this can be in a positive way. So there is no negativity to it, because Jupiter does bring positive energy. So even if you feel challenged in relationship, this can lead to some positive outcome going forward. So it's important to reflect on the growth and relationship growth as well during this time. Any connection formed during this time will lead to some sort of mature dynamic or clear dynamics going forward. The Jupiter here can also renew relationship. If you have an existing relationship or something that you've broken up, that energy may come back as well. But it's important to have honest and open conversations during this time, because with this energy you can have a positive turning point as well. You will definitely feel more hopeful, more expansive, more confident where relationship matters are concerned, because Jupiter will definitely soften the relationship dynamics. Now, last 1 year, Jupiter was moving through the sign of Cancer, and in 2026, it will be in the sign of Leo. So the energy is shifting from the sixth house to the seventh house. So the change here is from self-improvement to relationship expansion. So your mindset is moving from how you manage your life, how you can manage your life better, to how you can grow together with others. Now, this is definitely a socially fortunate transit. So the main blessing of Jupiter in seventh house is it brings support, it brings alliance, it brings relational opportunities. People are more willing to help you during this time. Right partnership, right time, meaningful connections, all that definitely is possible during this time. Now, everything comes with challenges, Aquarius. Everything has a shadow side. So does Jupiter in the seventh house. So as Jupiter exaggerates and expands whatever it touches, in seventh house, Jupiter can also exaggerate the seventh house theme. So be mindful of over idealizing your partners or others in your life. Also committing too quickly during this time. So do take your time. Don't rush any commitments during this time. Also, people pleasing can be a theme of seventh house Jupiter. You may be overly seeking approval or validation of others during this time, or you could be over giving during this time and losing your personal boundaries in relationship. So you need to be mindful of the flip side of Jupiter in the seventh house. Now, obviously, the main lesson here is you should be connecting without losing yourself, Aquarius. Now, the best way to work with this transit is to lean more into building or deepening partnerships, saying yes to collaborations, improving relationship communication, showing up authentically in one-to-one dynamics. And it's also important to avoid getting into relationship based on codependency issues, Aquarius. Also avoid overextending yourself to others and ignoring red flags due to over optimism or overconfidence, Aquarius. So the key message with Jupiter in your seventh house is your growth will accelerate through the people you choose to connect with during this time. Now, South Node will be entering the sign of Leo as well at the end of July 2026 and will remain in your seventh house for the next 18 months. Now, during this transit, South Node will be interacting with Jupiter. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a physical object in the sky. So South Node is our comfort zone. It's our ingrained behavior. It's where we have unfinished business. So with Jupiter interacting with South Node in your seventh house, past relationship patterns can come into sharp focus. Former partners or important connections may return during this time. So this transit helps you understand what you have learned about love, relationship, commitments, cooperations, and all that. And it's important to release any relationship built on ego needs, Aquarius, and embrace equal partnership going forward, Aquarius. Thank you. Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your Jupiter in Leo reading. Now, Pisces, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Leo on 30th of June, 2026, all the way until 26th of July, 2027. So it's a little over a year transit. It's a 13-month cycle. And this is activating your sixth house. Now, Pisces, Jupiter is a benefic energy. It brings blessings, luck, it brings enthusiasm, optimism, confidence, expansion, growth, and all that. Now, Jupiter in the sixth house is a very practical, improvement-focused cycle. This will reshape your daily life, your work habits, your health, and all that. It is very service and self-improvement based expansion transit. Now, sixth house is a house of work and daily routines. It's a house of health, physical well-being, your habits, your discipline, your service to others and to yourself. It's a house of productivity, your usability. It's a house of problem solving and also obligations and responsibilities. So with Jupiter here, your life improves through better structure, not bigger chaos, Pisces. So it's important to bring more structure in your life during this transit rather than chaos. Now, with Jupiter in the sixth house, your work health matter will expand because Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So there can be growth where your work or job are concerned. This can mean better opportunities. This can mean you changing jobs, which is a better condition, working condition, pay, whatever that might be. So this is a strong work-life expansion transit. Now, you may experience increased responsibilities at work as well during this time, but all this is in a positive way. It will be very beneficial for you. Now, working condition will also improve. Your day-to-day tasks will become more meaningful, or you are seeking more meaning in your day-to-day tasks, Pisces. Work becomes more active and growth-oriented during this time. So the job you're seeking or the job that you are in, you're seeking some sort of meaning, some sort of activity, some sort of growth going forward. Now, sixth house is also the house of competence and skills development. So Jupiter here brings rapid skills improvement as well. You may be learning on the job. You may be becoming more confident in your abilities during this time. You may be turning your weaknesses into strength where your job, your work, your daily life is concerned, Pisces. Jupiter here will definitely help you feel more capable, more efficient. Sixth house is a house of habits, your routine, your schedules, your well-being, health, and all that. So Jupiter here will bring positive results where your health is concerned. This is a very beneficial health cycle. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, everything depends on you, how you use it, what you make of it. The output is based on your input, Pisces. So here you may have motivation to improve fitness or maybe change your diet plans and all that. Now just be cautious because Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So in the sixth house of health, there is a possibility of weight gain as well. So it's very important to be mindful of this. Now you need to find routine that actually works during this time and also uses your energy in the best way possible. Now, during this time, you may also address long-term health issues, concerns, or habits. So this is more about sustainable well-being, not quick fixes, Pisces. Now, sixth house is the house of daily reality, as I mentioned before. It's also about organizing your life. It's about expanding your daily experience, your lifestyle, and all that. So here, your schedule may become busier. There may be more responsibilities in your daily life, not just the work or job, but just generally your daily life, your daily reality. There may be more work. There may be more responsibilities during this time. But all this can also lead to better productivity. Obviously, it all depends on how you manage this energy. Now, life can become more structured overall at the end of the transit. Now, last 1 year, Jupiter was moving through the sign of Cancer, which is your fifth house, and now it's entering the sign of Leo, which is your sixth house. So here you're shifting from self-expression to self-discipline. This is where creativity becomes more structured, joy becomes part of the daily practice, inspiration turns into routine. Now, Jupiter in the sixth house also brings self-mastery. That's the hidden gift of Jupiter in the sixth house, mastering through consistency. This is not about dramatic luck. Instead, life becomes more manageable, more effective going forward. This can also help reduce stress on daily basis, but this will come through some sort of structure, some sort of discipline, Pisces. And now everything has challenges, everything has shadow side. So does Jupiter in the sixth house. So here, as Jupiter expands wherever it goes, there can be tendency to overwork or take on too much responsibility at work. So it's important to not stress yourself too much. Be mindful of neglecting yourself or taking on too many duties, ignoring rest times, leading to burnouts and all that. So what you're trying to achieve here is growth through sustainability. Now, the best way to work with this transit is lean more into improving your daily routines, optimizing your health, skill building, training, organizing your workflow, saying yes to job opportunities as well, but also do avoid any chaotic schedules, ignoring your body's signals, or overcommitting out of obligations. So with Jupiter in the sixth house, the key message is your life expands when your daily habit supports who you're becoming, Pisces. Now, South Node will be moving in the sign of Leo as well at the end of July 2026. And it will be interacting with Jupiter during its transit in your sixth house. Now, South Node is a mathematical point. It's not a physical object in the sky. So its energy manifests more on subconscious level and more on psychological level. Now, South Node is our comfort zone. It's where we have unfinished business. It's where our ingrained behavior lies. So with South Node connecting with Jupiter in your sixth house, old work situations, old habits, old health matters, old routines, all that may return for a review over the next 1 year. Now, Jupiter can bring growth through skills you have already mastered, but you are encouraged to create healthier and more sustainable systems. So what you're releasing during this time is overworking for gain or recognition, and what you're embracing is service with balance, Pisces. Thank you.